Bon dia, good morning, welcome back. Boy, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I love waking up and walking to this doorway and looking out here and looking at all of these plants. It's very nice way to wake up and open my eyes, looking at all of this greenery and color. It's raining very lightly. It was raining last night. I love the rain. Makes the air feel and smell very fresh, and the air temperature very nice. Can you hear that? I was about to walk to the supermarket. It opens at 7, but may have to wait a little bit for this rain to let up. So I just went to the supermarket and I picked up another plant. Like the last thing I need is another plant. I got this kind of purplish, it's a calla lily. And, you know, the thing about all these plants out here are almost all of them I get at the supermarket, my local supermarket here in Salvador, Brazil. Many of them, most of them you can probably recognize as the same kind of plants that you can get up in North America or Europe. But the difference is that when I would buy one of these plants up in the United States, especially flowering plants, they might last a few weeks or a few months, the flowers, but they would inevitably die back, and I would end up mostly throwing the plant away if they're flowering. And here, I put them out here on the patio outside, and they last forever. They just keep flowering and flowering and flowering, and I never have to throw them away. And I guess that's the difference between living in a northern climate and in a tropical climate. They're native plants to the tropics, so they just keep flowering here. It's nice. I think we've got about as much rain as we're going to get today, so I'm going to go on out, take a walk. You know, I was thinking this morning that to get out of my neighborhood, Bahia, there are basically, I'm talking about leaving on foot now, there are basically only 4 routes or streets that will lead me out of Bahia, my neighborhood. One is the coast road, which is the one that we walk along to walk to the neighborhood of Rio Vermelho. That is pretty much even, flat, no hills, follows the coast. And routes 2, 3, and 4 all are uphill climbs like we're doing right now. To get to other parts of the city, I've got to climb one of 3 streets. And I'm realizing that may be what's making me lazy to get out and start my long daily walks, because the first part of my walks are always the same. It's one of these 4 streets or avenues that lead out of my neighborhood Bahia to get to another part of the city, to start really exploring areas that I haven't seen before. So I just gotta realize that and not let it interfere with my daily walks. It's inevitable. They're gonna have to walk up and out of the neighborhood, climbing a hill, unless I'm taking the coast road to Rio Vermelho, and just make that part of my daily reality. Not fall into laziness. As I've mentioned before, the city of Salvador, Bahia is a very hilly city. It's hillier than the city I come from, San Francisco, California, which is famous for its hills. Salvador is just plain hilly. If you don't like climbing up and down hills, well, I don't know what to tell you. Come and just stay at the beach. But if you really want to get to know the city, put on your walking shoes. and get some good exercise. In my case, my walking flip-flops, my walking Havaianas, because I refuse to wear shoes in this hot climate. I'm really not bothered by the heat anymore. I used to be, many years ago, bothered by the heat, having a hard time sleeping, feeling uncomfortable, hot and sweaty, but not anymore. I think it's just a matter of eventually, over the long period, you acclimatize yourself. Maybe your blood thins, maybe your body learns to regulate its internal temperature better. But I feel no need to have air conditioning in my apartment. I do perfectly fine with a big fan pointed directly at me. I wouldn't want the noise or the expense, talking about the electricity bill, or the environmental impact of having an air conditioner. Just don't feel the need for it, which is great. Two of my neighbors have air conditioners, and boy, those things are darn noisy. I think they're older models, and they can be quite noisy, especially at night. And I can't imagine what their Coelba bills look like. Coelba is the name of the light company, electricity company here. Their Coelba bills must be enormous. Anyway, I do not feel the need for one. Today is Monday, December 22nd, and it sure does not feel like Christmas. As I've mentioned before, Christmas never really feels very Christmas to me in the tropics. But it will be Christmas Eve on, let's see, Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday night. And Tanya, my brother-in-law's, Eliamar's wife, is arriving tomorrow, I believe, for a 9-day stay to be with her hubby. And she's going to make us a Christmas Eve dinner, which will be nice. And of course, the much bigger, or it feels bigger to me anyway, event the following week, December 31st, is Réveillon. Réveillon is how you say New Year's Eve in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, and that is massive. Everybody out in the streets, fireworks. It's a giant street party. The custom here is to eat, is it 12 grapes? I think you eat 12 grapes right around the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve. Get me some grapes. Hey, I made it to the top of the hill. Now the question is, do I turn left or do I turn right? I think I'll go to the right. Oh, and of course, given that it's almost January 1st, 2026, that means that the clock starts running on January 1st, 2026 for the process of applying for Brazilian citizenship. Yep, that's my big goal for the new year. I'm actually eligible on March 20th, 2026. That's my 4-year anniversary. But I'm going to start the process in early January by fully investigating the process. I've got a law firm lined up. I saw their advertisement on YouTube. They look good. The price is reasonable. You can pay in installments. The first step, I believe, is taking a Portuguese language course. Now, I do speak Portuguese fluently, but it's still a requirement. You have to take the course and you have to pass a test. You do not have to be 100% fluent, but you have to be able to get by in day-to-day situations in Portuguese. I have no worries that I won't pass that. I will pass it, I'm sure, with flying colors. It's just a matter of taking the course, I think you could take it online, and taking and passing the test. I know they do offer the test here in Salvador at the University of Bahia. So I need to investigate that, where and when and how long it takes. And then, once I've taken and passed that test, actually apply. Again, I believe I can apply online to start the process. I've been told that it takes about 6 to 8 months to get citizenship, to acquire citizenship. I'm sure there are documents that have to be submitted. I brought all of my documents from the United States. I brought all the same documents that I had to submit when I applied for my permanent residency. I'm sure a lot of those, or most of them, will be valid for applying for citizenship. I know I'm going to have to get a criminal background check here in Brazil. That won't be a problem. Fingerprints or a letter from my local delegacia police station. And they're just submitting the forms and waiting. And then hopefully in 6 to 8 months I will get notified that I am eligible for citizenship. And I don't know whether I have to take I think there is a citizenship oath ceremony, just like there is for the United States. I don't know if it happens in Salvador, if one has to travel to the capital, Brasilia. But when that happens, I will gladly travel anywhere in Brazil to take my oath and become a bona fide citizen of Brazil. I can't wait. And then apply for my Brazilian passport. And as I've said before, I am planning on being a dual national. I'm not giving up my American citizenship. The idea is to have dual nationality. I know those Republicans are trying to get rid of dual nationality. Wow, I don't know if you caught that, but this thing just crashed on me. This dried palm frond. I don't know why it crashed, fell down right as I was passing. I looked up to see if someone did it on purpose, but I don't think so. I think the wind just did that, but thankfully it wasn't heavy enough to hurt me. It did fall on my head though. Oh well, the forces of nature. Republicans just submitted a law in Congress and the Senate to eliminate dual citizenship. God forbid that an American would have the freedom to be a dual national, a freedom we've had for several centuries now. But those wild and wacky Republicans just love to take away our rights. I'm fairly confident that it will never pass, so I'm not going to worry about it. The street is starting to go downhill now. My recompensa, my reward for climbing uphill. You always get rewarded in Salvador because eventually, when you're walking up those hills, they eventually reach the top and you start going down again, which is nice. And the upcoming month of January will also be the last month where I have heavy credit card debt related to my move back to Salvador. Next month will be my last month where I've got a heavy bill to pay. And then come February, the following month, I'll start seeing some relief. And I can concentrate on other priorities like the dentist and also travel. I want to see more of Brazil. I've been talking about getting up to the Amazon forever. And that is an absolute goal in 2026, to fly up to the Amazon, perhaps start in the city of Belém, where the Amazon meets the South Atlantic Ocean, and then taking a boat up the Amazon to the city of Manaus. That is definitely a must-do in 2026. Most definitely heading downhill now back into my neighborhood, Bahia, along the Avenida Centenario. And I'm feeling the ocean breeze. This is a very pleasant avenue to walk up and down. Very tree lined. It's wide. It's nice. Oh my God, where am I? It's Christmas land. Christmas land in Brazil. Well, it's Christmas land at my local shopping center. Can't escape it. It is December 22nd after all. Okay friends, I'm back home now after my daily long walk. I've got a new book here to read, and I'm settling in for the afternoon. Me and Kitty Cat and my plants. My brother-in-law is at work. Won't be back home till about 8:30 tonight, so got the place to myself for a while. Thanks for joining me as always. Mwah. Beijo, ciao.